What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about this Jonathan Majors situation. I felt I should weigh in. I've talked a ton about Johnny Depp. I followed his trial, actually, last year. Daily videos, daily uploads. I've always been on Team JD. Didn't buy the Amber Heard stuff one bit. And so now here we are with a new case, and I mean, I do think this one's different. Like, let's not get confused. I throw in the Johnny Depp stuff just to kind of, I guess, give me an excuse to cover this. This is definitely a different kind of situation. This is something that is fast evolving. This is something that I think is getting worse for him as the days go on. But let me, kind of throw out, and it's maybe not going to be too original. Let's kind of wait a bit. Like, that's where I'm at, and that's why I want to make this video. I want an answer, like, for sure, and I get Disney's in a tough spot. At the same time, I don't feel bad for Disney literally at all. In fact, bringing back Johnny Depp, this is the same company that believed one person over him and immediately fired him as Jack Sparrow, right? And now whether or not he comes back, we'll see. But that's this company, that's Disney. And I say Disney because of Kang, right, for Marvel. So I don't really feel bad. Like, Disney is in a predicament. They're definitely in, like, a tough spot. I honestly could kind of care less. I almost feel like this is retribution. This is like the universe paying them back, like karma. So I really could care less about that. In terms of a potentially innocent versus guilty guy, though, right? That's one other side of things. That's maybe the more important side of things. It's not getting better, right? These more abuse victims kind of coming out of the woodworks to talk about, what he's done. That's why I say, that's pretty different than like a Johnny Depp. Find me any other person that he did what Amber Heard said that he did. You know what I mean? Find me them. It seems like it's just her. Okay, well, then now you only have to believe one versus the other. It's a pretty easy, I think, decision of which to believe. With this, already, it doesn't sound good. Like, those text messages, they keep claiming there's that video that's going to, like, make everything go away and make things better. We haven't seen it. Now, you could say, well, why does the public need to see it, or the public doesn't need to see it? That's fair to an extent, but I also think it would just public opinion, right? There's public opinion on this guy, obviously in Hollywood. If you show the video and it says that he, it shows whatever, that he didn't do it or whatever happened, then he's cleared. You know what I mean? So where is that video? And then, these text messages that they wanted to release, don't they kind of confirm that he did, in fact, hurt this person? I want to be very careful with some of the words I'm using for YouTube purposes. We don't need this video taken down. To me, it seems like he did actually do, a thing to this person. And the only thing that's up for debate is, like, why? Like, was he in the right to do it? And then you could argue, well, are you ever in the right to do something like, right? Like, it's already an incredibly sticky situation. They talk about him being, a free man, or like he's gonna clear his name. It hasn't happened. And then now he's getting dropped from everything. And then obviously now you have these new people that he maybe did similar stuff to. Now they're coming out. I don't think it's going well. Like, it's not going well, period. And it kind of needs to reach a conclusion. The sad thing, obviously, as we've actually seen with the Johnny Depp stuff, I'm not expecting this to happen with this, but it can take years. It's almost like you have to wait for the dust to settle to truly, to be able, and I think that's true to a degree, right? To be able to kind of see through the weeds, who's lying, what's in context, what's out of context, and kind of see the truth. That can take time. In fact, it is kind of hard to do that in the moment, especially with something that's kind of fluid, dynamic, as what we're seeing right now. But I do want an answer. And, I guess the thing is, like, Marvel kind of needs an answer, right? If Jonathan Majors did do this stuff, and he did it to, like, just say 5, 6, 7, 8 people, right? These people just keep coming out of the woodworks and say they're being truthful, they're actually accurate. Well, now he's in Loki season 2. He's not in it a lot, but he's in it. And obviously the rest of this phase, I guess, that we're currently in with Marvel, he's going to be in it quite a bit. He's the main villain. Now, you could just recast. I mean, I assume that's kind of the plan, because I don't think you can just get rid of the character like that. The thing, I guess, Disney or Marvel has to their advantage over, like, the Johnny Depp stuff, Pirates of the Caribbean really can't continue without like Jack Sparrow. You can't really you can't cancel Jack Sparrow because you're kind of screwing yourselves. In fact, they really didn't. They fire him from the movies, but they still use his likeness, his face, like in the parks, still sell the merchandise. It's one of the hypocritical things about Disney. They still make their money off of him. They're still doing it to this day. They did it during the trial. They did it before the trial. And I think Johnny Depp even said that out loud, which is very funny. And it's like, you know what I mean? So it doesn't really matter. But for somebody like Kang, like I think Jonathan Majors is a pretty solid actor, and I've liked him in what I've seen of Kang so far, but I don't think he's, you know, I think you can replace him. I don't think he's irreplaceable, especially like this early on into the role, and I don't think he's had like a cultural impact. In fact, a lot of the stuff that he's been in as Kang, like, you know, Loki was a well-viewed show. Ant-Man really didn't do so well in the box office. Like, this is not billions of dollars that he's brought in movies that are like, you know, with him as the central antagonist as Kang. We're not there yet. We may never be there with movie box offices not doing so well. So you're not at that point. You can just recast him. But at the same time, you know, like I said, it needs to be proven. Like I'm going back and forth because you got to do this right. Like literally, we should have learned that. And the reason I talk about, you know, these abuse victims coming out and saying, you know, whatever they're saying and why they need to be accurate, putting the onus on them, well, it's because that's how it should be. Let me just throw out that controversial, you know, thing right now. And I mean, you know, that text message stuff, like it is coming out. And I mean, if he did it, he did it. I truly do not care. But the point is, you can't just believe the people that say, like, didn't Amber Heard or hasn't the last like 5-6 years with all these allegations, haven't they proven that you have to prove it? You can't just say it out loud. There's been numerous examples. There's people fired from video game development, from women that said that they, you know, he said some things about her, and he won like $1 million+ in a lawsuit. This stuff happens all the time. Now, I'm not saying that every person that they claim to be, you know, say a Jonathan Majors or a Johnny Depp, I'm not saying they're always going to be innocent, but they're not always guilty, and you're innocent until you're proven guilty, not the other way around. So I want to throw that out because it is important, and up until this point, you know, these extra people kind of coming in and saying, oh yeah, he did this, he did that, you still, I mean, I believe a person is innocent until they're guilty, so he didn't do it until he technically did, right? As the things start to stack up, which they are, then it looks worse and worse. And then again, from a Disney side of things, I don't really care. They can sink or swim on this one. It's karma coming back for what they've done numerous times in the past. I truly, you know, don't care about how difficult the decision is for them. They do need to make a decision, but at the end of the day, you know, you got to take your time. You got to take your time. You got to make sure if he's telling the truth, he's telling the truth. There's got to be evidence. There was actually, there's got to be evidence that he did it, right? There's got to be evidence that he actually did these things. Text messages, well, that's a good start. It's definitely a good start that he maybe is not the greatest guy in the world. Like, I have no attachment to him literally whatsoever. I've always been like a big Johnny Depp fan, like as an actor. I've never really cared about Jonathan Majors. Not that skewed my opinion. I don't know. I don't really care what happens either way, but it needs to be the truth. So if he did it, he did it. I'm fine with that. Needs to be truthful. If he didn't do it, I'm fine with it. Needs to be truthful. That's really what it comes down to. Can't go on these wild, you know, hunts and chases after these people based off of just allegations. That's not how it works. And I thought the last 5, 6, 7 years would have taught people stuff like this. I guess not. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you're all subscribed, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.